What's up, everybody? I'm your Jojo, and I'm bringing you guys What If I Had the Soul Leveling System, Part 3. Now, this is my new status that I required after going to the instant dungeon. My level being 12, and with my name still staying the same, my job and title now being Wolf Slayer, my HP being 500, my mana points being 550, my strength being 45, agility 55, sense 36, vitality 35, and intellect 60. If warning, I almost like would have put up a lot of my points after killing the Black Mamba. I almost like would put it into intelligence so I can increase my mana points alongside stamina, so I can continue to fight much longer than I actually would have had in before. If warning, I'll be pretty happy about my stance and the boost and power that I was able to get after killing multiple monsters. Of course, I also would have got a reward from the system, like the skill sprint, which increases my speed by 40 times, making me a lot faster. Of course, now let's head into the video. Of course, I will be sleeping, taking my break after multiple days. Eventually, I will still go to school, and eventually, I'll get different tasks after doing so. Eventually, I was able to get a task of finishing my homework, which I was able to do. Due to me being much more smarter, I was easily able to do some of the tasks and eventually get a little bit of points. It's not that big as I actually expected, but it was pretty decent. Eventually, I will actually get 2 keys of my daily task after finishing it, like always. I almost like I will not break that much of a sweat after doing that, since I most likely became a lot stronger than I was before. Of course, it was pretty tiring the first time that I did that, but eventually it will get easier and easier as I continue to level up. And of course, I'm pretty happy that I'm most likely able to train this hard, seemingly as I was leveling up incredibly fast. But I know it's not that big of a progress. Eventually, I'll get 2 keys as I explained before, with the one being unknown for me, as I'll be looking confused. What the system explained me that must be incredibly high level to actually read all the information from it. But for the other, it seems that is known as Challenge Dungeon Key. In that dungeon, it will most likely give me a new job or a title if I am to finish it. Also, it has inside of it that the longer I survive, the more points I'll get, alongside the new job that I'll also able to acquire. With me being pretty impressed and even surprised as well, as I will probably be confused on why the system is practically giving me the choice of new job. I already have a job, but another job would not actually hurt that much. But I was decided to train and get a lot more points so I can get a lot stronger. Eventually, I'll go into a challenge dungeon, and eventually I'll then see a couple of knights. Of course, I'm confused on why humans are here, but they don't seem like humans. Yes, they do seem like humans, but they are knights in the scene from the medieval era. Eventually, they'll try and attack me, but I was able to use my dagger and stab all of them, as I will stab them in the necks and kill all of them. Eventually, I'll then dodge a fireball as it comes close to me. With my senses being high, I was able to detect that it was actually a mage. With me being shocked that there's actually magicians here. Eventually, the system will explain to me that these mages are level 6, able to produce an incredibly powerful skill known as Fireball, which practically allows them to increase the damage alongside from my stats to be halved if I'm to be hit by the attack. Of course, I'll be on guard as I'll continue to fight multiple of the knights, so I'll also kill some of the mages as they try to attack me. With my poison daggers, they have an incredibly big effect. They were able to deal poisonous damage and alongside a bleeding effect, which, if running the bleeding effect, practically when I stab someone or even hit with my dagger, they have a bleeding effect, which practically takes 1% of their health every 1 second. Wow. While the poisonous effect makes them incredibly slower as well. Eventually, I'll continue to fight. Similarly, as I continue to train and continue to fight and kill off multiple of the mages and knights, as they continue to pop off like everywhere. As I continue to fight, I will then see a mage, different from the others, as I'll see it reviving the other knights. Similarly, as they continue to fight and continue to attack me, I will know that he's a necromancer, a magician who can bring back the dead. Eventually, I was able to kill him after throwing my dagger as he was trying to cast a fireball at me. Eventually, I was able to finally relax and I would then breathe a sigh of relief, seemingly as now I was pretty okay. Eventually, I was able to find a little bit of armor around the area. Eventually, putting it on is I was able to get a little bit of a defense. Eventually, increasing my HP to 800 as I'll get the armor. Eventually, I will also go into. I'll be in front of a big gate, and this is will explain to me that this is my final challenge. To face off against the boss of the challenging dungeon is I'll then look serious, with my eyes seemingly glowing slightly brown with much more tint of golden as well inside of it. As I'll then step in, opening the gates, as I'll then see a red knight, seemingly taller than the other knights, incredibly taller and seemingly as he has a sword in his hand. The system will then pop up. It's explained to me that this is the Bloody Icarus. Blood Icarus, the guardian of the throne, and the boss of this dungeon. I'll then look into Icarus' level as I will be incredibly shocked. He is level 25, and his stats are almost 5 times bigger than mine. Of course, I'm pretty nervous about this, but I'll decide to face off against Icarus. I'll then fight the Red Knight as we continue to exchange blows. I'll be able to cancel out his attacks with the sword as I'll use my daggers, in which I'll be able to stab Icarus through his helmet so I can deal poison and bleeding damage. Icarus will then try to attack me, and then he will be able to disarm me. With my daggers falling to the other side, I'll then look at Icarus, and I'll decide to fight it off with just bare hands. Icarus then will throw his sword away. I will decide he's an honorable knight, and I'll respect that. In which I'll use my skill sprint as I'll be able to increase my speed as I'll rush against Icarus with incredible speed, with Icarus also rushing against me as both of us will clash fist to fist. With raw strength, Icarus is stronger than me, but when it comes to speed, agility, and sense, I'm way higher than Icarus. Eventually, we'll continue to fight on as seemingly our battle continues on even longer. I realize that then it's been passing hours as the battle is going on, and actually I was able to have a slight glimpse at the system as I realized that me and Icarus have been fighting for at least 2 hours, and I was not even tired just yet. It's just that Icarus was running out of steam a little bit, but not enough. Eventually, as we would have continued to fight, seemingly as our battle will get even more intense. Eventually, the system will notify me that I have now acquired a new skill after damaging the Knight, or the Elite Knight, Blood Icarus, being the skill Bloodlust. I'll be surprised as I see the skill, but I realize that I will have no time to think. I was able to dodge Icarus' attacks as he would then try to strike me with a powerful punch, but I was able to use the skill Bloodlust as I was able to have Icarus' stats while also giving a bit of the half stats to myself. Eventually, with the powerful punch, I was able to send Icarus flying. Eventually, grab my daggers and stab Icarus in the eye as I continue to stab in the eye. As the poisonous and bleeding effect will continue on to be activated on Icarus, you start to lose even more blood as he then will die. Out of bleeding, as I'll then pant, seemingly exhausted, as I'll hear the words level up, which I'll hear multiple times, and seemingly this I was able to get incredible amounts of levels. I'll be pretty surprised as I was also able to see the type of armor that Icarus was wearing. I was already rating my armor was only a B class type of armor, which is pretty good but not that good enough. Now Icarus' armor is an S class armor, which I'll be pretty surprised of the price and how much it can pay. If I sell his helmet, I'll get at least $100 million, which is pretty impressive. Eventually, this is will notify me of my progress, and I have spent 8 hours inside the challenging dungeon, and now these 8 hours will be converted into points. With every hour that I have passed, it will be converted to 100 points and be given to my new job. Of course, I'm confused because I cannot choose a job, but I'll just ignore it and decide to just go along with it. Eventually, as I was able to actually get a potion, as soon as I was able to acquire it for my daily task, as I would then drink it, able to restore my mana, and eventually I'll then just decide to relax. Eventually, I'll be notified by the system after being able to translate my new job after 10 minutes. As something, I also hear the words from the system. Similarly, as the system says to me that I'm the warrior that wears the black and follows the shadows, the one who advises the dead, and they follow me as their new leader and controls the shadow within it. Of course, I'm confused as I heard that my job is a necromancer. I'm shocked to know that. Eventually, the system will notify me that this is actually a hidden class job, which is incredibly big bonus to me. Of course, I'm pretty surprised of knowing that, but I'll decide to accept the necromancer job, and eventually all my points will go into my necromancer job. My necromancer job will evolve into Shadow Lord. I'll be confused as I feel the immense power, and eventually I'll say the words arise. As multiple of the knights, warriors, and mages will rise, and seemingly all of them are now converted into shadows. I'll be shocked as I see them, as I've I require them as my shadows. I'll also realize that the system would give me a limit of how many shadows I can have. If one day I was able to write multiple of the knights, if in all the knights and warriors and mages there are at least 250, while my storage for all of my shadows are at least 150, which means that I have to sacrifice some of them into nothingness while also gain some points if I do so. I'll then decide to shrug it off, as I'll then able to sell some of the knights and mages. Eventually, I'll go into Igorus. And well, of course, I'll be pretty wondering how he would look if I revive him as my shadow. But of course, I will actually realize that if the system is working as I think it is, then I'll have to go to the throne, as I'll say, "Arise." As I say those words, Igor's will be confronted by a dark aura, is seemingly he'll stand tall before me. As I'll look up to him, he will then bow to me as I tell him that he can stand up. As Igor stands up, all the warriors and knights bow to me alongside the mages. With me just having a slight smirk, as I think to myself that this will be interesting. Eventually, I'll tell them to go to my shadow as they do so. Now, I'm also able to acquire a new skill, which is called the skill Ragnarok, a skill that practically allows me to practically increase my strength and power and speed in the battle. The lower my HP is, the stronger I'll get, alongside the effect of a system that you'll practically lower my HP, losing if I am to be critical than critical levels, like my HP being at least lower than 50%, which I'll be pretty amazed by the system actually doing so for me. By the time of me leveling up, I'll be in incredibly high level, being level 25 by the time as I finish the dungeon, with me being happy with my progress as I continue on, with me thinking of what the future is ahead of me. But guys, this is the end of this part. See you guys in the next one. Bye.